You keep trying to improve yourself, but something feels off. Not because you're failing, not because you're lazy, but because every time you sit down and think about what you want to change, there's this weight, like you're supposed to be further along by now. Like the gap between who you are and who you should be keeps getting wider, even when you're moving. You read the books, you watch the videos, you know what discipline looks like. You understand the concept of consistency. But when you try to apply it, it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like pressure, like you're constantly behind on some invisible schedule that everyone else seems to follow naturally. And the worst part, you can't tell if you're actually improving or just convincing yourself you are. Because self-improvement has become this thing you do, not something you feel. It's another task, another metric, another way to measure whether today was good enough. So, you keep going, but quietly. You wonder if you're doing it wrong. People talk about self-improvement like it's supposed to be empowering, like it's this engine that moves your life forward. And maybe it is, for some people. But for a lot of us, it doesn't feel that way. It feels more like a job we never applied for, a constant audit of who we are versus who we think we're supposed to become. Adults especially. We carry this. We're not in school anymore. No one's grading us. No one's telling us we passed or failed. But somehow, the grading never stopped. We just started doing it to ourselves. We look at our routines, our habits, our output, and we score it. Good day, bad day, productive, wasted, and self-improvement becomes the framework we use to justify that scoring system. If I'm improving, I'm okay. If I'm not, then what am I doing? Many of us don't even realize we've turned growth into a form of self-surveillance. We track everything. We measure. We compare. Not because we want to, but because somewhere along the way, we learned that standing still is the same as falling behind. So we keep moving. We keep adjusting. We keep trying to optimize. But here's the thing. Most people don't say out loud. Self-improvement doesn't always make you feel better. Sometimes it makes you more aware of everything you're not doing. Every book you didn't finish. Every habit you didn't build. Every version of yourself you thought you'd be by now. And that awareness, it doesn't motivate everyone the same way. For some people, it creates clarity. For others, it creates noise. A constant hum of not enough that plays in the background of every decision. This isn't about being ungrateful. It's not about rejecting growth. It's just honest. The truth is, a lot of us are tired. Not from the work itself, but from the way we've been taught to think about the work. Like every moment is an opportunity to be better. And if we're not seizing it, we're wasting it. That's not sustainable. And deep down, you already know that. I used to think self-improvement was about addition. Add a routine. Add a skill. Add discipline. Add structure. The more I added, the better I'd become. And for a while, that worked. Or at least, it felt like it worked. But over time, I noticed something. The more I improved, the more I noticed what was still broken. It's like the bar kept moving, and I was the one moving it. Every time I hit a goal, the goal changed. Every time I built a habit, I saw 10 more I didn't have. I wasn't getting better. I was just getting busier at evaluating myself. And that's when I started to question the whole thing. Not self-improvement itself, but the way I was thinking about it. Because I realized I wasn't improving for me. I was improving to stop feeling inadequate. And those are two completely different engines. One moves you forward. The other just keeps you running. So I started asking a different question. Not, what should I be doing better? But what actually matters to me right now. And that shift, it changed everything. Because suddenly, self-improvement wasn't about filling gaps. It was about choosing direction. And direction doesn't require you to fix everything. It just requires you to know where you're walking. Here's what most people get wrong about self-improvement. They treat it like a destination. Like there's some final version of yourself waiting at the end. And once you get there, You're done. You've arrived. You're enough. But that version doesn't exist. There is no finish line. There is no moment where you stop needing to adjust, to grow, to recalibrate. Life doesn't work that way. And once you accept that, the whole game changes. Because if there's no final version, then there's no such thing as being behind. You're not late. You're not failing. You're just in it, like everyone else. Self-improvement isn't about becoming someone new. It's about refining how you move through the world as you already are. It's not transformation. It's alignment. And alignment doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small recalibrations, tiny adjustments, moments where you notice something's off, and you shift. That's it. That's the whole thing. But we've been taught to think bigger than that. We've been taught that real change is dramatic, visible, measurable, and if it's not, it doesn't count. So we ignore the small stuff. We wait for the big moment, the breakthrough, the shift that finally makes us feel like we've changed. And while we wait, we miss the actual work, the quiet work, the kind that doesn't show up on a before and after photo, the kind that just makes life easier, clearer, more honest. That's where real improvement lives, not in the big declarations, but in the small decisions you make when no one's watching. When there's no motivation, no accountability partner, no tracking app, just you and a choice. And here's the part that matters. Those small choices don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be consistent every single day. They just have to be intentional. You just have to know why you're making them. Because intention is what separates self-improvement from self-punishment. One comes from clarity. The other comes from fear. And you can feel the difference if you're paying attention. Let's say you wake up tomorrow. You've got work, maybe some errands, maybe some time in between where you could do something for yourself. Exercise, read, plan, whatever it is you've been telling yourself you should do. And let's say you don't do it. You get through the day. You handle what you need to handle. But that thing, the one you were supposed to do, it doesn't happen. Now, here's the question. Do you beat yourself up about it? Do you add it to the list of things you're failing at? Or do you just notice it and maybe ask yourself, did I actually want to do that? Or was I just trying to check a box? Because a lot of the time, we confuse obligation with intention. We think we want to build a habit, but really, we just don't want to feel guilty for not having it. And that's not the same thing. Real self-improvement starts when you stop doing things to avoid feeling bad, and start doing things because they actually make sense for your life right now. Not the life you think you should have, not the version of yourself you're supposed to become, the life you're living today. And sometimes, that means saying no to the thing everyone says you should do. It means letting go of the routine that worked for someone else. It means admitting that just because something is good doesn't mean it's good for you. That takes honesty. And honesty is harder than discipline, because discipline can be mechanical. You can force it. But honesty, you have to sit with it. You have to look at your life without the filter of what it's supposed to be, and see it for what it is. And when you do that, you stop improving randomly. You stop chasing every new method, every new framework, every new version of productivity. You start moving with purpose. And purpose doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be clear. Here's what that looks like in real time. You're at your desk, you've got a list. Some of it matters, some of it doesn't. But you've been trained to treat every task like it's equal. Like finishing the list is the goal. But what if you looked at that list and asked a different question? Not, what do I need to finish? But what actually moves something forward? And maybe only 3 things do. Maybe the rest is just noise, maintenance, stuff that'll still be there tomorrow. So you do those 3 things, and you let the rest sit. And at the end of the day, you didn't finish the list, but you moved. and that's different. Or let's say you've been trying to build a habit. Wake up early, work out, journal, whatever it is, and some days you do it, some days you don't, and every time you don't, you feel like you failed, like you broke the streak, like you're back to zero. But what if you stopped counting? What if you just notice the days you did it, and let the other days be what they are? Not failures, just days. Because the habit isn't the streak. The habit is the return. The fact that you keep coming back, even when you fall off, even when it's messy. That's the part that matters. Not the perfect execution, the return. And the same applies to everything else. Your focus, your energy, your discipline, none of it has to be flawless. It just has to be real. And real means some days you've got it, some days you don't. And both are fine, as long as you're not lying to yourself about which one it is. I'm not saying this because I want you to subscribe, or because I'm trying to build some kind of following. I'm saying it because I think a lot of us are stuck in the same loop. We keep trying to fix ourselves using the same frameworks that made us feel broken in the first place. And maybe the answer isn't another system, another method, another way to track progress. Maybe it's just a different way of thinking, a quieter way, one that doesn't require you to be better every single day, just clearer. And if that resonates, then maybe this is a space you come back to. Not because I told you to, but because it helps you think, because it reminds you that you're not behind, you're not broken, you're just figuring it out, like everyone else, and that's enough, more than enough. You don't have to have it all together by next week, or next month, or even next year. You don't have to hit every goal, build every habit, become every version of yourself you've ever imagined. You just have to keep moving, keep adjusting, keep noticing what works and what doesn't, and give yourself permission to change your mind, to let go of what isn't serving you, to stop improving in ways that don't actually make your life better. Because self-improvement isn't supposed to make you feel worse. It's not supposed to add pressure. It's not supposed to be another thing you fail at. It's supposed to help you live more intentionally, more clearly, more like yourself. And if you can do that, even just a little bit more than yesterday, then you're already there. You're already improving. You just might not be measuring it the way you thought you would, and that's okay.